What's up, guys? Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Gaming. Now you're back with the Madden 18 LA Chargers series here. I was about to say Madden 18, but I already said that. So, last episode was the off-season stream. I'm assuming I'm going to upload this video on Saturday. That was on Friday. So, hopefully you guys made it, and if you did not make it to the stream, that's part of why I'm making this video, an off-season recap. So we're going to go over the re-signings, like, the free agency, the draft, pretty much everything that has to do with the offseason. So, first, we're going to look at the players that we did not re-sign and where they ended up. There are three main players we really lost this offseason, and the first one was Antonio Gates, a Charger legend, but I did decide to let him go because I wanted him to, like, win a ring somewhere, so I let him choose, and he chose the Jets. Yeah. He apparently thinks the Jets can win a ring. Now, I'm not mad at him for letting him go, because he wanted to sign with the Jets. He could have chosen any other team to win a ring, taken a pay cut, but nope. He decided to sign with the Jets, and the Jets suck, so I don't know why he chose the Jets. I mean, what's a good team that needs a tight end? Not the Patriots. The Packers kind of do. I mean, I don't like Richard Rodgers as a Lions fan, so maybe the Packers, or, no, Dallas has Witten. The Chiefs have Kelsey. I guess the Packers. Atlanta has Hooper the Hooper. He's pretty young. My Lions have... You brought notice I put my Lions in a good team conversation. The Steelers... What? Jesse James? Gildarius Green? Yeah, so maybe the Steelers or the Packers would make more sense for Gates, but it's his choice. The next one is outside linebacker Jeremiah Toucher. Probably the most controversial of these three because he's only 25 years old. But he asked for like $7 million a year and did not do that great last year. Only 1.5 sacks, 72 tackles. He did miss a little bit, but he still played like 13 games in the season, which is still a lot. And I did not want to pay him $7 million for like 5 years, so he decided to sign with the Detroit Lions. I'm a Lions fan, as I said earlier. And we kind of don't have a great linebacking core. I really like to hear Whitehead and Jared Davis, but that doesn't make our linebacking core good. Hey, we have Tevin Coleman. Cool. And the last player is Matt Slauson, who also ended up on the Lions, which is a bit surprising because they have Ricky Wagner at right tackle and Taylor Decker at left tackle. So I don't really know what they're doing. Maybe they'll move him to left guard because Laken Tomlinson is not great. In real life, we traded him to the Niners for like a 5th-round pick. But I don't really know why the Lions would go after Slauson. Atachi makes more sense. But that's Bob Quinn's decision. I'm not their GM. Bob Quinn's their GM. Bob Quinn is such a big baller. But, so, two of our big free agents go to my Lions, which is kind of funny. The other one goes to the Jets. I think it makes more sense for Gates to come here because we're better than the Jets. I don't want to trigger you guys and say we're championship contenders, but in real life, we've been really good. Come on, you've got to admit it. So the next thing is our free agents. We did not make any splashes, pretty much depth. Only two free agents, I believe, are going to be starting opening game. And this right here is not a spoiler because everyone who you're seeing right here was on the team last year. So it's not a spoiler. The best player we signed, maybe a 79 or an 80. So let's look at who we saw. Linebacker, we re-signed Brandon Oliver, and we also signed Orleans Darkwa. He's an excellent receiving back. What's his catching? He has to have somewhat good catching. Where's his catching? Am I blind? 54? I thought he was a good receiving back. But 90 speed, 88 trucking, that's not bad. We'll see how much time he gets because we do have Oliver and, of course, Melvin Gordon. At wide receiver, we signed Aldrick Robinson. He was going to be our kick returner, but I forgot we had Jakeem Grant on our practice squad last year, so, of course, we're going to have him return kicks. There's also a free agent who I kind of want to show you who's really fast. But pretty much receiver depth. He's going to be our number 4 receiver because we did lose Dontrell Inman in free agency this year. So if one of our 3 receivers gets hurt, and especially considering Keenan Allen's track record of getting hurt, Aldrick Robinson might get some playing time this year. At tight end, we signed the Madden Mobile GOAT, Levine Toilolo. He was really good in like Madden Mobile 15. I was really good with him. We also did re-sign the GOAT, Jeremy Sprinkle, so he's going to be our number 2 tight end behind Hunter Henry. You guys know our offensive line sucks, so we did get some help. And the first player we signed was Greg Robinson, who's not going to start because we do have like 5 players I'd rather start. However, if any of them get hurt, he is going to be like the backup. So, not bad. We did, I would say, overpay him. We paid him like $4 million for 3 years, which kind of regret. May look to trade him soonish. Let me add him to the trade block. That's a good idea. One of the 2 starters I signed was Zach Fulton, the center from the Chiefs. He's solid, 26 years old. I like that run blocking to be going up, but at this point I care about pass blocking more because our pass blocking was much worse last year. Melvin Gordon ran for like 1,300 yards, and Philip Rivers got sacked like 70 times. So obviously the pass blocking is more important at this point. The next player we signed, and the only defensive player we signed, we actually did sign Bashaud Breeland, but we did use him in a trade to get a first-round pick like 25 from the Bills. So we ended up signing a backup strong safety in Chris Conte from the Buccaneers. We only had one backup safety in Marcus Williams, who actually was a free agent, but we re-signed him. So I wanted to get Chris Conte. I believe we only signed him to a 1-year deal. So, yeah. And the other starter we signed, other than Zach Fulton, will be our kicker for the next year, Matt Prater. I believe we signed him for 2 years, but I only want him to be kicking for 1 year. We did draft a kicker, which I'll get into him in a minute. So he's going to be on a practice squad this year, and Matt Prater will be our guy for the year. Josh Lambo, he made pretty much all his extra points. He was the best extra point kicker in the league, but was not great when it came to field goals. Look at our free agency class. If you want, you can pause the video. Here we go, the NFL draft. Before we get to our pick, I want to show you guys the top 3 picks, as well as where all the quarterbacks went. So the first pick, the Chicago Bears selected Daniel Presley, an offensive tackle from Notre Dame, who I really liked for a while. The only thing why I wasn't in love with him, because I really thought it was going to be like a 78 normal. Check out the 78 part right, but he's a 78 superstar, so he's really going to help out Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears offense. With the second pick, the Cleveland Browns selected Dallas Walsh, a safety from Oklahoma, hoping to give Jabril Peppers a sidekick. And he looks really good, 80 overall with quick development. They're going to give Peppers a sidekick. And this safety class was really strong. But we didn't need a safety because Adaya and Trey Boston were both insane last year. So now on to the third pick. With the third pick, the San Francisco 49ers selected Tyrone Bethea, a linebacker from Miami. He looks pretty good. I wasn't in love with him, but he looked like pretty solid. And that's a perfect description of this pick. 80 overall with normal development. So him and Reuben Foster are going to be great, as well as Navarro Bowman. But the normal development isn't great, but he still looks like an excellent player that can help the 49ers be better, because they're not great. So before I show you guys the Chargers picks, I'm going to show you the quarterbacks that went off the board. So the first one was Will Kazviharn. I've had no clue how to say that. He was a guaranteed superstar with the week 3 draft stories. Now, he was like the number 1 guy on the board, and I thought the Niners were probably going to take him at 3. However, he fell to like pick 23, where the Pittsburgh Steelers selected him. A team that does not need a quarterback, but it makes sense because Big Ben is definitely getting up there, and they do want to make sure they have a good quarterback by the time Big Ben retires. So that's going to be Will. No clue. I cannot say that last name, but we're just going to call him Will. I believe the only other quarterback in the first round was Tate Prohl from Stanford. Probably my favorite first-round quarterback. And he did have consistency issues, which was one of the draft stories, but he does look really good. 79 overall, quick development. The Saints took a chance, and an excellent chance indeed. They lost Drew Brees, and they got themselves a really solid quarterback in Tate Prohl, who I really liked, as I said. Quick development. He's going to be their guy, not only long-term, but right away as well. With the fourth pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Leonard Worrell, linebacker, Penn State. He's an 80 overall with superstar development, but we moved him from middle to outside linebacker, and he became an 83, and then he got 2,500 XP just from the preseason, and now he's an 84 overall superstar development. This guy's going to be so good. I moved him to outside linebacker because he has good stats for a pass rusher, not a middle linebacker. 73 zone coverage is not great. However, he looks like a very, very good pass rusher. Before we get to the next pick, we traded Kenny Galladay, who we just got in the stream, for Rob Havenstein, Bashaud Breeland, who we just got in free agency, as well as Darius Philon to the Bills for the 25th pick. So with that 25th pick, I almost said the Browns, that the Chargers acquired, they selected Miles Ellerbe, offensive lineman from Clemson. He was originally a right guard, but we moved him to right tackle. He's an 82 overall with normal development. So he's really good now, which is exactly what we need. But he's probably going to be really good in the future, too. Two high offensive tackles picked in the Browns series were Tyrell Rogers and Trey Brandon. Both of them are like 78 normal, and Ellerby's an 81 normal. They both, I believe, now have superstar development, and they're like 85, 86s each. In the second round, the Chargers selected Grayson Worthington, an offensive lineman from Notre Dame, and he looks really good as well. 78 overall, quick development. He's going to be a day one starter. The offensive line will look like Lamp, Worthington, Fulton, Feeney, and Ellerby. 81 run block, 82 pass block. This guy's going to be really good. In the third round, the Chargers selected a defensive lineman by the name of Rashard Street. He was originally a 77, but we moved him to defensive tackle, and he's an 80 overall quick development. Now, our top 4 picks will all be starting day one, but we moved all of their positions. Worrell was originally a middle linebacker. Ellerby was originally a guard. We moved him to tackle. Worthington was originally a center, and moved him to guard. And Street was originally an end, but we moved him to defensive tackle. So now our next pick is probably a very exciting one. I will give you a hint. It is a quarterback. In the fourth round, the Chargers selected someone who I've kept my eye on for a long time. Peyton Mankins, quarterback, Clemson, 75 overall with slow development. Will this guy be our long-term guy? Probably not. But he's definitely going to get a chance. In the fifth round, we selected Jared Dawkins, running back from the Army. Looks like a very solid power back. His stats don't look that bad. He is only a 67 overall and will be the 4th guy on the depth chart. However, he did end up making the team. With our first pick in the 7th round, we selected Cooper Barrett, fullback from Penn State. Derek Watt was only like a 66 overall, so this guy will be our fullback. We unfortunately had to cut Derek Watt. He was our only cut, actually. I accidentally saved him through the preseason, and he was our only cut, which is fine. In the first ever Browns draft, we got Mr. Irrelevant, and we selected punter Taylor Sams from Colorado. We put him on the practice squad for a year, and then after that, he was the best punter in the league. We did something very similar, just with our kicker. With the last pick, we selected kicker Brody Body from Oklahoma. We're going to have Prater start this year, and probably Body will be the kicker next year. 68 normal, which is not great, but Taylor Sams is only a 71 overall. 88 kick power and 93 kick accuracy are actually really good. It's just the awareness needs to be boosted up. So this guy's going to be a great kicker for us. Here's a look at our draft class, and if you want, you can pause the video. Here's a final look at the depth chart. So Phillip Rivers will be the starting quarterback once again. We did keep 4 quarterbacks on the roster. I wanted to keep Mankins. I wanted to keep Huntley. And Cardale Jones, when we played with him, was really good, so I wanted to hold on to him. Running back will be Melvin Gordon once again. The offense, minus the offensive line, pretty much did not change, minus Antonio Gates. And the fullback, which will be Cooper Barrett. The top 3 receivers, Allen, Mike Williams, and Tyrell Williams, exactly the same from last year. Tight end, pretty much just without Antonio Gates, Henry, Sprinkle, and Toyolo. The offensive line will be Forrest Lamp, Grayson Worthington, Zach Fulton, Dan Feeney, and Miles Ellerby. The defensive line will be pretty similar. Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram will each be the defensive ends once again. The defensive tackle is a little different. Rashard Street, I want him to be the number 1 defensive tackle because he doesn't have more potential than Legit. Legit's already like 28, 29. Street is already 24, but he does have that quick development. Linebackers, Jatavis Brown, that's the same from last year. Denzel Perryman, same from last year. And Leonard Worrell, our top pick, will be the right outside linebacker. Corners, pretty much the same from last year. Casey Hayward, Verrett, and Desmond King. And the safeties, pretty much from last year. Boston and Jahil Adaye. Kicker is different, however. That'll be Matt Prater. The punter, Drew Kaiser, the laser. That has not changed. Kick returner will be the burner, Jakeem Grant. And Rodney Adams as well, who was really good last year kick returning. Prater will be the kickoff guy. Feeney will be the launch snapper. Melvin Gordon, the 3rd down running back. And here's a practice squad led by the GOAT, Brody Body. Before we end the video, we decided to sign this guy, Neil Lee, who is a 2nd rounder from the Bills. He's extremely fast and has somewhat good hands. He's going to be our kick returner, our punt returner, and our number 4 receiver. Sorry I didn't show it in the depth chart because we signed him after.